For most of her life, Isabel has been severely disabled. She can't walk, can barely talk, and has no means of caring for herself. But it's the last 18 months of this 18-year-old's life that have been some of the most difficult.
The COVID pandemic has just made everything 100 million times worse, because we went from having carers in the morning from 7 to all the children being out at school, to over one weekend having no support, no help, nothing.
But their ordeal is no surprise. New research from the leading think tank for the north of England highlighted a number of injustices disabled people here are faced with. It tells a story of a region being failed on access to vital services.
We've got local governments, local authorities that are increasingly cash-strapped, and they're struggling to make really difficult decisions about budgets and what services that they can provide in terms of social care for people. And we know that this is particularly the case in the north of England. We really need to make sure that disabled people are at the heart of any strategy, because otherwise it's just not going to work.
The report reveals social care funding per disabled person in the north is over £2,700 lower than England as a whole. It found disabled northerners have some of the lowest levels of happiness and highest levels of anxiety in the country. And during the pandemic, people with disabilities in the region were less likely to be employed than the national average. Responding to the findings, the government told us throughout the pandemic we have been working with the social care sector to ensure all recipients of care receive the support they need. We are committed to reforming the adult social care system and will bring forward proposals later this year. Elizabeth said she hadn't noticed the disparities up until now, but seeing them in black and white, she believes it's shocking.
It makes me feel a mixture of sad and angry. That if we lived somewhere else in the country, we would be able to get additional help and support for me and Isabel and my other children, whereas we have to survive almost on what we've got at the minute. It's just not levelling up, is it?
There is no doubt the pandemic in some way has shaped all of our lives, but for Isabel, her mother, and many thousands in the north of the country, life has been a little bit tougher. Inzamam Rashid, Sky News, Manchester.